Hi, my name's Dave and you're listening to episode 57 of On the Bench, the fortnightly podcast by Scale Modelers for Scale Modelers, available on iTunes, Stitcher and all good podcast apps. This show is brought to you by the generous support of Ian Anderson and Craig Utley. If you would like to support the show, you can do so by going to www.patreon.com/onthebench and pledge any amount from $1 upwards. Your ongoing contributions help cover our production costs and are greatly appreciated. Fine Scale Modeler is proud to support On the Bench. Fine Scale Modeler is the world's most recognised and essential magazine and is available in all good newsagents and newsstands or wherever you purchase your magazines. Alternatively, go to their website www.finescale.com and subscribe to either a print edition or the digital edition. Or why not treat yourself to both? Go now. Go to www.finescale.com. In this episode, we're going to be diving in and unwrapping the new Airfix 1/24th scale Hellcat. And of course, we're going to be looking at what's new in the modelling world. So, without further ado, let's get on with the show. And hello and welcome to the show, and g'day Ian.
G'day Dave, g'day listeners.
G'day Julian.
Hello.
How have we all been?
Yeah, good.
Excellent.
Good. Yeah.
Let's get turn up my headphones a bit. That's better. I can hear now. All right. So, what did I say?
Well, you've been asking how we are.
Oh, that's right. How have you been?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, good.
Yeah. Been up to anything?
Managed to get all the base colours done on the Moosaroo Cup Challenge build.
Oh.
So there's a little bit of masking in a few different colours to add here and there, and then I can give it a clear coat and a wash.
You're way ahead of Anthony.
Am I?
Yep.
Oh, not fussed.
Oh, well, it's all, first past the winner's post.
Oh, I don't think that's going to make much difference at all.
Oh, Julie, what have you been up to?
Buying things.
Oh.
And I've been working on a few things.
Yep.
So I've been working on the French Shaman.
Yes.
That's getting closer. I've only got 2 out of the 6 bogies left to do.
Very nice.
And I always, the suspension and tracks and stuff like that is kind of like the boring part. The repetitive action type stuff.
Are the tracks individual links or are they all...
It's a rubber band deal.
Okay.
But that's all right.
That's all right for the sermon though, isn't
that's
it?
Right.
As you keep telling me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So it's probably not that much further until it gets painted. I could probably knock it out before the end of the week if I wanted to, but I'm going to focus on a few other things. The other thing I'm building is the P47M for the Waverley Inter Club.
Oh, it's coming up in September?
October.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I got the fuselage, I got the cockpit done and the fuselage all buttoned up, and it took me a little while to sort of scribe and fit all the panel, because it's got like a separate thing for the across the back, the rear back and the fin.
Right.
Yeah, so you got to put like 2 halves together for that and then glue that down.
Yep.
And I wanted all the panel lines to...
What kit is it?
It's the Tamiya kit.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not too bad then.
The good kit, the amazing kit that you can build anything from a D through to an M, I think.
It's not too bad at all, that particular kit.
And my decals came today, but they're for it, and they're a bit cracked.
No,
you don't want that from brand new decals.
No, because the way I received them was quite. They did a good job of putting them in like a rigid sort of envelope.
Yep.
So I don't think it was the envelope that got bent. I think they might have been bent at some point previously.
Right.
I suspect.
Yeah, but still, it doesn't help you.
No. But fortunately, most of the decals that I need out of it are not in the centre, so I don't think they're that cracked.
I can see a slight crack through the through it, but I reckon you could salvage that quite easily.
Yeah, maybe.
If you're going to use them.
I might try and paint the insignias because it's mostly the insignias that are positioned in the center of the sheet where the cracks are.
Yep.
So if I can paint those, I'll get around it. I've also received decals for my A4 Skyhawk, A4E.
Lovely. They look fantastic.
Yep.
They do.
You got them from
the manufacturer themselves. I forgot what they're called. I think it's like
AOA.
AOA decals.
Never heard of them.
They specialize in Vietnam
do
subjects. So if it's an aircraft and it was in Vietnam, chances are they do decals of it.
Hey, well, I'm going to make a note of that. Do they do a range of scales?
I'm not too sure.
All right, I'll have to have a look.
I think so.
I'll have to have a look.
Yeah.
I've got a whole heap of Phantoms in 1/144th scale. So do a nice little diorama.
Yeah, and they give you like a lot of
right decals.
They do a lot of schemes on this decal sheet. So there's almost 12 or something on the sheet, which is really good. I mean, there's three sheets of decals in it. Can't ask for more than that.
No,
really.
you can't. That's awesome.
I've also pulled a Shelf Queen out.
You've been busy.
I know.
Yeah, he's on holidays.
Ah,
That's why.
Yeah,
You've been really busy, man.
Yeah. So I've got I have a Shelf Queen, the Hasegawa Lancia 037 race car.
All right.
Rally car. I stopped building that because I got so far with it and I was like, okay, I'm going to have to spray all of this silver or aluminium or something like that. And then I can't glue this before that. And it became like, you look at it and you start assessing which parts you need to paint when, and suddenly you realize that you're going to be making like 7 trips out to the airbrush.
Yeah.
It's one of them sort
I get that way sometimes.
paint,
Yep.
glue, paint, glue, paint, glue,
yep,
paint. So you look at it and you're, I think I'll grab something else.
So you've actually pulled it down and had a crack at it, started getting...
Yeah. So I got so far with it, like I've got the engine block. That's the other thing I needed to do. The reason I shelved it was because it doesn't come with any wiring for the cables, spark plug leads. Yeah.
Yep.
So I need to do those. It gives you the actual distributor, and it gives you the top of the
coil
valve covers with the spark plug where the plugs where they plug in.
Rocket
Right?
cover is.
Yeah, rocket cover. Yeah. So it's all there. It's a very easy sort of wiring sort of thing. You just got to have like 4 or 5 sort of wires.
6-cylinder?
4.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, that's not much to do.
No.
That's not much. But then you got your coil,
Yeah.
your battery leads.
No, I can't see the battery.
Oh, battery's hidden, is it?
Yeah, I don't even. Do they even have a battery? Race cars?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Some don't. Some do. Some don't.
Fan belt?
It depends. If it's got like a triangle somewhere, that usually means I think it's got a battery on it somewhere.
No fan belt because it's rear or mid-engined. So the fan belt is on the side that you can't see.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Sounds very odd to me.
Yeah.
Well, it's European.
Well,
It's a European car.
it's a race car.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a race car, mid-engine, rear-engine style race car, but you can see most of the engine with the back end closed up because it's got a great big glass sort of window over the. No, maybe not. It's probably not glass. It's probably more like perspex or something like that. But you can see it like just the car sitting there all buttoned up.
I can't ever see myself building a car. It just don't interest me.
You're going to have to one day, mate.
No, it just doesn't interest me. There's nothing out there that I go, oh, I've got to build that. It just doesn't. Motorcycles, yeah. I've built a...
Motorcycles?
I've built a Zundup and I've built a R65 BMW. They're pretty cool. But I've never... Just nothing about... Okay. Does a Jeep classify as a car?
Not really.
Well, is it military or civilian?
Yeah, is it in bright colours?
What about military surplus stock sold off to the civilian market?
Well, it depends. Is it still paint? Is a livery still as a military vehicle?
Yes.
Well, then it's not. Then it's not.
Oh, okay. I'm not struggling. I can't ever see it. No. I don't see how you're ever going to convince me to build a
Who
car.
knows? You might get a challenge from the Canadian.
Don't be saying that. No.
Because one of you guys is going to have to do the next Moosaroo Cup challenge.
Well, that's true. But, I mean, the Moosaroo Cup's only annual anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
So, there'll be Julian next I'll pick on. You watch.
All right.
Yeah, but I don't think there's anything Julian wouldn't build.
Well, that's true.
That's true, yeah.
That's it.
It's not much of a challenge to me.
Well, have you done science fiction yet? Any science fiction stuff?
I have an unpainted science fiction thing that I have yet. Yeah, it's very close to finishing, but it's like a sort of very one-seater sort of spaceship kind of fighter type thing in red, and it has the way it's depicted in its source material is that it's very heavily chipped and bashed around.
Was it a Gundam thing or?
No, it's from like a TV series, like animated TV series, but it's
Do you remember what it is?
yeah, it's from a show called Cowboy Bebop.
No, never heard of it.
And
Cowboy Bebop?
yeah,
I know Cowboy Bebop.
yeah, I know. I
You
linked
gave
it
me
to
all
you.
the movies.
Yeah, so it's like a single seat fighter type thing, and I think like within the storyline, it's supposed to be like a former racing plane. So it's a little small, sharp looking thing called the Swordfish 2.
Prop or jet?
Well, it's a spaceship.
It's a rocket
Isn't there
ship.
props that work in space. What are you?
It's not the 1940s anymore, Dave. Get with the times, mate.
Oh, I'm thinking of all those classic old Buck Roger movies where
Space Patrol.
Yeah, the rockets are hanging on the string, and you see the smoke coming out the back.
I remember years ago they used to have, I think it was on SBS, they used to have a series, Space Patrol. And I think it was from the 40s. And it was like, when they go against each other in space, they pop open the porthole in the middle of space and start having a shootout. That was so entertaining.
Oh, man, I love that sort of stuff.
Same here.
Oh, I love that sort of stuff. All right, so no new purchases from you, Julian?
Apart from the Phantom.
The Phantom? What Phantom?
I bought... I'm not sure if I mentioned it.
No, I don't think you have.
No, okay. Yeah, so I bought the Zuke Mirror Phantom for a Vietnam another Vietnam subject.
F4D.
Oh,
Yep. So apparently it's a newer release. I mean, like they've got their line of Phantoms in 48 scale for a little while, I think. But this one is the more recent-ish one because they bring out was it a C or a J or
An E.
E model's the one you can do for the Royal Australian Air Force.
Yes.
Yep.
That's the one with the gun.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's when they went back to putting a gun in there because the pilots kept complaining.
Well, it's funny. I was listening to an interview with a Crusader pilot, and their kill ratio was something like 16-1 in Vietnam, and they always had trouble getting the MiGs to come up and fight against them because the MiGs prefer to go up against the Phantoms, which I thought a bit odd. But then again, I mean, the Phantom's a perfect example. If you put enough engines and thrust on, anything will fly.
Yes, true.
Isn't it?
True.
I mean, what I remember looking at, I used to think as a kid, geez, an ugly aircraft. But as I've gotten older, I've come to appreciate its lines a lot more. It's
apparently its lines aren't quite correct in this kit.
Oh, aren't they?
Yeah. Apparently there's like some sort of inaccuracies towards the rear end where the fuselage curves off, and apparently I don't care.
You don't care. You're not going to be.
No.
It looks like a Phantom.
If I have to choose
Yeah.
between like some brand new spanking kit and the old what's it?
Hasegawa ones.
No. The Academy kit apparently is very good.
Yep.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, quote very good.
Isn't that the one where they had trouble with it splitting down the spine?
I don't know,
Yeah.
but all I know is that I know what the sort of standard that Academy turn out, and while it's not bad, it's not a cutting edge.
The thing about
Like this kit is.
and I'll be intrigued to see how you go with the paint because the Southeast Asia paint scheme. It doesn't. It just fills me a little bit with caution because I want to get that really faded look in there. So I'd be interested to know what paints you use for it.
I have to be clear. I'm not a fan of the subject or the era. I don't care enough.
But you care enough to go and buy an SWS Phantom.
Yeah, $130. Well, see, because I'm doing this for our.
I'm not saying nothing.
I'm looking at you and you're not saying a word.
No, I'm not saying anything.
Like, it's for our club display for next year, and I didn't want to be in a position. I didn't want the club to be in a position where it's like we've got this cool Vietnam display, and no one's built a Phantom. Because everyone will go, oh, someone else will build it. Someone else
Probably
will build
going to
it.
have about 10 Phantoms in the next club display.
There's one guy in our club who generally builds a lot of jets, usually a lot of F-16s.
Yeah, true.
Repeatedly.
That's all he builds, isn't he?
Yeah, and
Les.
yeah, Les, and I think most people would have thought, oh, it's a jet. Yeah, Les will build it. But in this case, last year he was going to build something. Work got in the way, and he couldn't get it done.
Life gets in the way.
That's right. But it's it's still a bit weird if you don't have a Phantom in a whole selection of kits for Vietnam.
I've got about 4 Phantoms, and they're all 1/144th scale, so I was going to use them.
That doesn't count.
What do you mean it doesn't count?
Because it's a different scale.
What's wrong with it?
Well, it's not like it's there, but it's it doesn't.
So you're going to tell me now that 1/44th scale is toy scale, now? Eh?
No, I'm not saying that.
I will.
Well, all I'm saying is that
Dave, you just need to make a mobile above your bed.
If I go to see a presentation of Vietnam subjects, I expect to see a Phantom, and I expect to see it in one of the more normal scales, right?
Hang on, define normal.
I don't want it to be like a technicality kind of thing,
No, take a step back. Define normal.
Well, in 72nd, 48th, or 32nd.
Once upon a time, 76 scale was normal.
Yes, but that was a long time ago, Dave.
Doesn't matter. It was still normal once upon a time.
Yeah, back then when they believed if you travelled on a train, you'd die of you'd die because you couldn't get the oxygen in because you were going too fast.
Not quite.
Yes. And you do realise, Dave, the world is round.
Well, yes. Okay. All right. So, getting back to what I was originally asking you, I'll be intrigued to see what paint you use.
Yeah.
When you do the Southeast Asian scheme.
Yeah. So it ticks all my boxes. It's well engineered. It's got cartograph decals. That's what I'm looking for. I don't really want to have to scrounge decals like I have for this other kit with the Skyhawk.
Yeah, well, you can't rely on Hasegawa decals.
No. But yeah, so I mean, it'll be an easy build too. It probably won't fight me.
Do they go together? I've never built one of those kits. Do they go together well?
No idea.
I've got no idea either.
No, I don't know if it goes together well, but I'll find out.
Well, we'll find out, won't we?
Yeah.
Be able to report
But I would expect it to, because it is a modern kit that's built with CAD, and you can look at it and you see the detail and the sort of hardness of the plastic, etc., and you sort of it inspires confidence, Good.
So, if you're not really a fan of the particular aircraft or the era, what are you going to do with the kit when you finish it?
Well, someone can take it home with them.
Well, that's a pretty expensive present, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there's people who who will take it home. I don't mind. I mean, it probably won't even fit in my cabinet. It's that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently you just got one of those little tiny cabinets.
Yeah, I got one of the little cabinets.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's good in a way, because it means I'm always building things and always getting rid of other things.
I can't get rid of them.
I'm not in the position like you where you go, oh, gee, it'd be really nice to build that thing, but I don't have anywhere to put it.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
And then it stops you from building things.
Yeah. I'd love to hook into some of my bigger kits.
Yeah.
But where I'm going to put them is another thing. My Shikaku is languishing, but since Expo, is still in its box.
Well, that's probably a good thing because it'll protect it from dust.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's not a bad thing at all.
So no one gets to see it. It's in the box, stashed away.
Until the next model Expo, and you'll drag it out and...
No, the Waverley Interclub.
Oh, really? You're putting it in that?
Yeah, I'll
I was hoping you might, but I didn't think you
I'll put it in there.
would.
Yeah, I'll put it in.
That's overkill, isn't it?
Yeah, well, what's wrong with that? Don't mind a bit of overkill.
Well, I mean, you went on to all the effort. I suppose you may as well show it off at every opportunity you
can.
Well,
last year I put the USS England in.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
So this year I put the Chicago in.
I forgot about that. I was gonna say, well, maybe you can put the Chicago, maybe you can put the USS England in because it's not as big or delicate. Or maybe it's equally delicate.
Yes.
Should we get on the listener mail?
Sure.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Because I'm keen to get through and get towards this part of the show. We're going to talk about the old new kit in, but we'll
get to
stall
it.
on that. Not a lot of listener mail, actually, but there's Facebook has been going nuts over. I posted a link to the new movie coming out called Midway.
Yeah, they lost me when I saw the green zeros. And I am so tempted to send Roland Emmerich's brother, whom I know, an email telling him to give him a good kick in the ass, because when I spoke to his brother last time when he was down in Australia and he told me he was going to do this movie, I said, make sure he reads Shattered Sword.
And clearly they didn't.
And the most important things, zeros weren't green. And then you see the preview and he's got freaking green zeros. It's like, don't you listen?
Yeah, but I don't think he's not really gone for accuracy. He's just gone for shock and awe.
Yeah. Well, we can't expect too much from Kai, who gave us Independence Day, and that real crappy Godzilla movie.
Independence Day was fun.
It was, but it's very dated now.
I don't know. It's funny. I sat and watched it again about a year ago, and it still holds up, all right.
Yep.
So, but I'm just gobsmacked at how you see the zeros, and as I sort of said, they're flying down strafing, and they're going so low, they're going below the treetop level, the palm trees. I mean, no self-respecting pilot.
Yeah, so they're going to risk flying that low just to shoot at civilians.
And not only that, and when they shoot a car, the car explodes in a big ball of flame. I mean, come on, really?
It doesn't explode into a ball of flame.
I had high
But that's
hopes.
just Hollywood.
Yeah, I know, but I had high
In Hollywood,
hopes.
you slam a door of a car too hard and it explodes.
What I think we need to leave the war movies to the likes of Tom Hanks and Spielberg. Because they did that excellent two excellent miniseries on Band of Brothers and Pacific.
Pacific, yes.
Yeah, they were both really good.
Wasn't there a rumour they were going to do a naval one as well?
Tom Hanks is doing a naval movie on a destroyer that was on picket duty and kept getting attacked by kamikazes, I believe. Mm-hmm. And they were also, Hanks and Spielberg are supposed to be doing that series on the 8th Air Force.
Yes.
Which would be...
The Mighty 8th.
Yeah, it'd just be gorgeous. I mean, look at their production values for the other two miniseries. And,
But it's going to be full of B-17s. And whenever they do an American bomber movie, it's always B-17s. They had more aircraft than just the B-17.
Well, wasn't the B-24 more prolific than the B-17?
Well, it could be, but... Why don't they do something like on the...
Marauders,
yeah.
That was quite a difficult aircraft to fly, apparently. Lost a lot of pilots flying.
Well, I think the B-17 is probably better for the movie format or TV format, right?
Well,
because you can have them take shots and still keep flying. And then it's like, oh, crap, let's hold it together, Whereas B-24s...
Take one on the wing and it folds up.
Yeah, it folds up. it's all good. It's all plain sailing. It's great. You're going really fast, that much faster than V-17. I think they had a bigger payload though, didn't they?
B-24 had a bigger payload.
Yeah.
It was.
So it's all like flying first class until you get shot and then you're dead. It's not. I mean, like if you're going to make a movie out of that, it's kind of like these guys having a really nice time. And then the plane folds up and the end,
So I've got high hopes for that. But yeah, I'm with you with Midway. I don't know. I'm gutted. And I've only just seen the trailer and I'm gutted. I really am.
And you haven't even taken a critical eye to the ships yet.
No, I haven't seen much of the ships yet.
I've read an interview with him, and he said a lot of the ships were done by model makers because they couldn't use the modern ships that they did when they did the movie that won't be named.
Well, fingers crossed then. Fingers crossed. So we're going back to like a Tora situation where they actually use model ships.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be good.
Well, thus his interview said, we'll wait and see.
Hang on a second. Let's rewind a sec. You say you know his brother.
Yeah.
How do you know his brother?
The company I work for imports a product that his brother owns the company in Germany.
Oh, well, there you go.
Known him for Just be close to 25 years.
5 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
Write him a dirty email.
Yeah, I will. I'm going to write him an email.
Yeah.
Tell him to give his brother a foot in the back.
Tell him Dave's not happy.
I'll tell him I'm not happy. Oh, first thing I'll ask him is, did you relay that information I gave you?
Clearly no.
Clearly no.
No.
But that's Hollywood.
It is Hollywood, and it is what it is.
Yep.
You know, in Hollywood, it's the Americans who capture the U-boats and the Enigma stuff and all that sort of stuff. And speaking of Americans, happy 4th of July tomorrow.
Oh, it is too tomorrow, yeah.
And let's not forget our other North American friends. It's Happy Canada Day 3 days ago.
Oh, was it?
1st of July.
Great stuff.
So Canada Day on the 1st of July and 4th of July tomorrow. So enjoy your fireworks, beers and barbecues over in the States.
Yes. Yes, too true.
I haven't been in the US during the 4th of July. I reckon it'd be a real hoot. Might have to do that one time.
Yep.
Shall we move on, gentlemen? Have a look at
let's stop procrastinating and look what's new.
The modelling world. All right. First cab off the rank. Here's the announcement from Mini-Art about their Grant tank.
Oh, the late production Lee.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, what did I say?
It's a Lee.
That's the Lee tank. Okay. Anyway. Julian, thoughts? This is kind of in your area of expertise.
Yeah, I'd like to build one.
Don't these ones come with interiors?
Some of them do. I'm not sure if all of them do.
Not quite sure. So let's have a quick look there.
Doesn't look like it.
The interesting thing is the decals that they're going to be having with this, because it comes with decal sheets for the Soviets,
Yep.
as well as a German captured tank from the Eastern Front. So I reckon that's pretty darn cool.
No, I think all of those are Russian, actually.
That's German, that one there.
Oh, yeah, sorry, not the German. Yeah, aside from
the other three are Russian.
The other 3 are Russian. And then further down, it's got another 4 decal sheets for
Red Army, and 2 US.
Other way around. 3. Oh, no, there's Red Army down there.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Well, it's Lend-Lease, so they came with all the original stars and things on it, and it's up to them to paint over it or something.
The sprues look fairly straightforward, and nothing really there jumping out to sort of worry me as a builder, looking at it. The tracks are individual tracks, I think. Links, individual link.
Probably.
Although that'd be a bit of a pain with that one, because you got to have them nice and taut.
Because I don't think Mini-Art do the rubbery stuff. I don't think.
Okay.
Maybe they do. I'm not too sure. Actually,
No.
Actually, they might.
No, this one's individual. I remember seeing it. There we go. There, see.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It comes with workable track links and just click together, supposedly.
Supposedly.
Interesting.
I'm going to make a nice little kit.
Yeah.
You'll have to buy it and let us know how you go.
At some point, perhaps. Yeah. I mean.
I got the Tacom Grant. That's a lovely kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that kit. It's very nice.
Okay.
Next one's a company I've never heard of, Border Model.
Border Model. I have heard of them.
And they are releasing a Panzer IV F1. And you can make it as either a Panzer IV F1 or a Panzer IV F1
Vorpanzer.
Or a Panzer IV F1 with additional 3-inch armour. Is it 3-inch armour? Yeah.
Yep.
So I reckon that's a pretty cool idea. You get the one kit and you can make 3 different ones out of it.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a short barrel Panzer IV.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's not like we haven't seen a Panzer IV before. Yeah. And a lot of people, I imagine, are probably of the opinion, why would I buy this one when I've already got one?
Is it me, or does it look like it's got photo etched Schussen?
Yes, it looks like it to me.
Which, for those that don't know, are the side covers.
Yeah, they're like sheets of metal on the sides.
Yep.
And you have to have them in photo etched to get the right sort of replica scale effect.
Yes.
Otherwise, it just looks overscale. So if, you said you heard of this model company before. I haven't.
So I believe this is their first kit.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. So they.
I beg your pardon. No, they had initial release of a Panzer IV-G last year.
Oh, there you
go.
And this year a Leopard 2.
Oh, okay. There you go. So they've done 2 kits already.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know them because I came across their tools. They make I've mentioned before on the podcast about how they have these really nice chisels.
Oh, okay.
Chisels, yeah.
Oh, right. So another one of these tool companies that's gone into production of their own kits.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh,
although,
cool.
if you remember, Guns had their own kits as well for a little while.
Yeah, I've got one. Yes, I've got the Shelby Daytona Coupe, and it's lovely. One day I'll build it.
Not sure when this one's out, but certainly keep an eye out for it, and we'll let you know when it's hitting
Well, there's
the
no
shops.
pictures of the spruce, because I couldn't tell you.
Now, this one has really grabbed my interest.
Tacom.
Tacom.
It's the Polish prototype future tank.
Yes, and it looks really,
It looks
really
like it's
good.
got a rail gun or something in it.
It looks like something out of a science fiction show,
Does,
doesn't
yeah.
it?
It looks like something that I've been watching lately that have battled Godzilla.
It looks like something out of an American movie where they come up with a secret special stealth tank.
Yeah.
It belongs in a Starship Troopers movie,
Yes.
don't you think?
Yes. No, I agree with you.
Yeah. I've got to get one. I reckon that looks absolutely gorgeous, and
It is such a sci-fi looking thing.
don't know much else about it apart from the fact it's going to be in 1/35th scale, due for release late 2019.
It's a PL01.
It is a bit of a paper pencil.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, Polar never moved forward with it, and never sort of went ahead and, apart from the prototype that got built, never went into production. Apparently, it's based on the Swedish CV90 120T light tank, which is interesting,
Oh, yeah.
because that's in contention at the moment for an Australian Army contract.
The CV90.
Yeah,
Really?
So we'll wait and see, because Australia's got a contract out for a competition out for a tracked
Infantry fighting vehicle type thing, yeah.
So be interesting to see how that places. But yeah, it just looks really
It does look pretty cool.
different. And the interesting thing is,
Honestly, you know what I'd do with it?
what?
Rip the tacks off, get rid of the tracks, and turn it into a hover tank. It just screams, let's turn me into a hover tank.
Yeah, it does look sci-fi enough that you want to go the whole sci-fi kind of thing.
Definitely.
Oh,
Definitely.
I think in
But that's
reality,
Tacom. It's going to be good quality.
in reality, it's a bit hard to make a tank hover.
well, it's interesting. The tracks are link and length, and there's also a jig that's going to be supplied to assemble them as well. So that'll be pretty cool. The hatches can be posed open or closed. So I wonder if there's any sort of interior detail or not.
Now, Dave, when you
Yeah.
see a tank like this,
Yeah.
and you know it's individual link tracks,
I get excited.
would you build the top part of the track, the part that doesn't get seen?
No, I'd build the whole lot, because I'd know that it's...
Really?
No, I'm serious, yeah. I'd build the whole lot.
I wouldn't. I'd just build what can be seen.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Especially one like this, where they've really tightly made all this sort of stealthy looking sort of armory stuff that comes all the way down.
You know what? I'd be half tempted now just to not build them, but tell you that I did. Oh, all
Interesting.
right. Okay, so that's, as I said, that's due for release in late 2019. So I'll definitely be keeping my eye open.
Well, you know what? I reckon you'll see a lot of people buy that kit because Tecum are quite a favourite among a lot of the really cool
Oh,
armor
they build
modelers.
good stuff. They build really good
No,
stuff.
what I mean is that they'll do lots of cool, like sort of space age looking like camouflage schemes and things.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't wait to see all the different
All
cameras.
the sort of what ifs. I mean, to what if tanks, and no one cares if you do a what if scheme.
Well, the interesting thing is that particular tank, it's almost got the same sort of paint scheme as the F-35, that sort of greyish aircraft
Yes.
sort of thing. So it looks pretty cool. All right, next up we have from Tacom again, their new Willys Jeep in 1/35th scale.
This one comes with a utility trailer.
It does indeed. Now, I've been having a look at this, and
It looks fantastic, doesn't it?
it comes with the entire chassis and engine and all the running gear underneath. So you could build it as a bare bones, but it leaves a lot to sort of where you can put a lot of detail in it, and you can display it like that without
Yep.
having the seats and everything in it.
Yeah, you'd have one just freshly out of a crate before it's been put together.
absolutely. It looks really, really good.
One sort of, I guess, cautionary sort of thing about something like this is that you look at the CAD and stuff and you're like, oh, wow, it's so detailed. And then when you actually get it in your hand, you realise it's like half the length of your phone.
Yes.
It's a Jeep. It's not
It's
that
tiny,
big.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, like, yeah, it's super detailed, but remember, you're going to be putting all those little detailed tiny pieces together.
Ian and I are used to working in sort of that sort
That's
of
right.
little scale.
That's
like
nothing
that,
for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I mean is, like, you know, most armor builders are building something bigger than that and much
Yes.
less intricate.
That's true. All right, moving on. Let's have a look now at Kitty Hawk's new announcement. They're releasing in 1/48 scale a Sukhoi Su-25K.
the
NATO
good old
code
Frogfoot.
name Frogfoot. That's right.
Lovely.
And early 2020. This is.
It's a nice looking aircraft, though. I don't mind the Frogfoot.
It lends itself to be kit bashed.
And the thing I like about this kit is it's got shark's teeth.
I can imagine the Frogfoot, the Su-25, with all patches and panels on it, and an orc pilot sitting in it, flying it. It's got that sort of look to it. Just give me the dirtiest look.
Not the dirtiest, the look of what the hell are you been smoking, Dave?
So, for our listeners who don't know what the Frogfoot is, it's basically a Russian attack.
Well, it's basically
Ground
a Russian
attack.
version of an A-10.
Yeah.
Came out in the 80s, I believe. First test flight was 75, production in 78, and then it was pushed into service.
It's a fairly overlooked subject, so it's no surprise that Kitty Hawk are doing it. They tend to do a lot of the overlooked jets.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I just hope they try to keep the fuselage in as few pieces as possible.
Well, we'll wait and see.
Wait and see, Julian.
All right, I think that's it from What's New. Have you guys got any sort of new things that you're aware of?
Oh, if I have, I've forgotten.
Let me have a quick look. On,
Yeah, I can't think of anything new.
Well, you guys have a quick chat amongst yourself, because I remember I did find something else, and I just need to find where I put it.
What do we talk about?
Talk
Oh, we
about.
how Dave looks like he's about to give a speech about the Day of Infamy. Dave's got a new pair of glasses, and
They clip to the bridge of his nose.
yeah.
Dragon models to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the moon landing are reissuing
That's right, yeah.
the 1/48th scale Apollo 11 command and service module.
Yes.
So there was that bit of news. Also, I saw someone releasing a ship, but I'm just trying to find out.
ship?
A ship, yeah. And I saved it, but I just can't find.
Not Starling models,
No.
because they've got a new 1/350 scale
there's
release.
another one. And Avant-Garde model kits. They displayed their F-14 at a model show in Malaysia, I'm thinking.
Yes, and that's
Yeah.
the one that was signed by everyone.
Yeah, that's right. So,
That means it's finally coming.
well, it's been like 3 years.
Something like that, yeah.
So it's been quite a while since it's actually been announced, and people have been hanging out for it. And in fact, some people have been complaining because they put some advance money to... I was reading some poor guy, he put down, deposit, and the model shop they put the deposit down to went out of business.
Oh, you'd be dirty, wouldn't you?
Oh, you would. You'd be absolutely dirty.
Let this be a lesson to everyone that you should never pre-order until you can have it.
I
it's
pre-order.
unless it's actually released. Don't pre-order.
Yeah, I pre-order, but when I pre-order, I don't pay. I just order it through B&A. B&A's got that thing where you can just hit a button,
Oh
pre-order
yeah, Put me down for one of those when
Yep.
they come through.
Yep.
Yeah.
and then they give you the email when it's in, and
Yeah, well, I think, like the actual retailers, like an online retailer, it's not in danger of going bankrupt anytime soon. It's probably
no, that's right, yeah.
going to be okay.
Especially a large company like B&A.
Yeah.
AFE Club have got their new Centurion Mark III Korean War one coming out in June.
Ah,
And they've also got their M23 Hawk and surface-to-air missile that's coming out as well. So that's the other little ones I remembered.
yep,
Apart from that, that's all I've got. How about we have a quick break?
yep.
Then we come back and we can do the unboxing of the Hellcat
Oh,
and have a
yeah,
look
I've
at
already
a nice one.
I've already unboxed it.
I haven't seen it yet, so I'm
Oh, yeah.
hanging out.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Back very, very shortly. Okay, and we're back to have our look at our deep dive and open up this huge box that Ian has got on the desk. The Airfix 1/24 scale Grumman F6F-5 Hellcat.
Yep.
Ian, take it away.
It's a beast. It is an absolute beast of a kit. Like it has got so much presence. It's just not funny. I'm a bit of a fan of the Hellcat, as you may have realised.
Yep.
Now you're looking at an aircraft kit that's in 124 scale measures out to be about 424 mil long. It's got a wingspan of 534 millimetres. 572 pieces in the kit.
Wow.
You get 4 decal options. And the decals are printed by Cartograph, which means they're good quality decals.
What's games?
You got one called Paper Doll from VF-27 from the USS Princeton in 44, which has got the cat's teeth.
Yeah, that's the one on the cover, right?
Yes, you've got an aircraft from VF-12 from the USS Randolph in 45. A British scheme from the Fleet Air Arm, number 808 Naval Squadron from the HMS Keydive in 45, and a French one from the first flotille from the French carrier the Aeromanches in Indochina in 1953.
Wow.
You don't get an instruction manual, you get an instruction novel.
Seriously?
It's 72 pages
Wow.
for the instructions.
72 pages.
Probably some of the best instructions I've ever seen. They're really so easy to follow and really well set out. The other good thing about the kit is when you're building sections, you just take one sprue out, and that sprue covers that whole section of the aircraft. So you're not having to dive in between sprues to do one section of the aircraft.
Now, that's a clever idea.
That is a very clever idea. I'll send a few YouTube things on vids on YouTube, where some gentleman in the UK, unfortunately I can't remember his name, but he's actually building one at the moment, and just watching him build it, and a lot of the pieces are like wingnut wings type tolerances. So you really can't put much paint on areas where you're going to glue because the tolerances are just so tight. And a lot of the bits just clip together. The engine itself, which they give you also an option in there so you can put a little section in there so you can put a little motor in. But the engine itself's got, I did a rough count. There's about 67 pieces in the engine.
Oh, geez, it's a model kit in itself.
Yeah. The cockpit itself is about 65 pieces.
Yep.
For the interior. Now they also give you plastic seatbelts, which don't look too bad.
Yep.
I'll probably end up replacing with some HGW seatbelts.
Edward have already announced.
But that scale, I'd go the fabric ones.
Yep.
Rather than photo etch. What else? You get 2 versions of the instrument fascia, one that you can paint and one where you can put individual decals for all the dials.
Yep.
In the rear part of the fuselage, which you can actually see because the panel at the very bottom can be positioned open, so you can see the all the radios and the batteries.
Oh, cool.
And all that, and it's got all the ribbing on the inside of the back. Of course, you got the option for folded or unfolded wings, and also an option that you can build it with the undercarriage up if you're inclined to hang it off your ceiling like a silly bugger. Detailed gun bays with internal wing structure and so forth, like your main wing spar and all that's all in plastic. You can pose your rudder, ailerons, flaps, and your trim tabs.
Wow.
Nicely detailed wheel wells and undercarriage.
So not like the 124th scale Spitfire where you have to go and get a resin wheel well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, think of the time difference between that and it now.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get a good selection of ordnance. You can either get the 500 or 1,000 kilo bombs, rockets. You get 2 types of external fuel tank. One which is the standard one you see with the Hellcat, which is pretty much got that little flared bit that goes in the back of the external fuel tank up to the bottom of the fuselage, or you get one that's just a standard hanger off without that I call it a shoehorn sort of section that hooks on the bottom.
Yep.
The only photos I've ever seen of that particular fuel tank I've ever seen are basically on the drones.
Right.
So I haven't seen any photos. I'm not saying that didn't happen, but the only photos I've got in my reference books is the drones that have that. And you get 2 different types of rear wheel. You get like a rubber tyre, pneumatic tyre rear wheel, or the solid rubber rear wheel.
Well,
It's got a lot of presence. When you open the box, you'll see it's just pretty big.
Let's just do that now.
Dave's just opening this large, huge box.
Oh, jeez.
Already.
And obviously you've already gone and blown up some...
I blew up some...
Scaled up some pictures.
Close, as not quite, but it's very close to 1:24 scale line drawings.
Where'd you get the line drawings from?
Oh, from one of my selection of books.
Okay. Well, gee, you open the box and it's just jammed right up to the
it's
top
jammed
full
solid.
of stuff. I mean,
It
it's
is
not
jammed solid.
It's not. There's no air in the box.
No.
It's all just full of plastic. And I've just grabbed for the instructions, and Ian is... Oh my goodness! These instructions are as good as what you'd see on.
And the other good thing with the instructions
wing
too is
stuff.
it gives you an engine wiring diagram. So if you want to wire up your engine, it gives you positions of the wires and what length to cut them at.
It's got all the wing spars inside the wings.
Yep.
So the detail that you can put into this is going to be absolutely.
Oh yeah, you could go to
astounding.
town with this kit.
So with the instructions, what Dave's referring to is the fact that the instructions are done using CAD and they highlight pieces that are going into the assembly.
Yeah, and when you get to the next step, they've coloured in red your previous step.
And that's so it's shown green. The next one you got to do
Yep.
coloured green.
So this is actually a standard for Airfix.
Yes,
There
it
are
is
all
now,
their
yeah.
other kits use a similar sort of style.
Yep. Well,
But
the new kits.
they do go into a few, like having flicked through it a little bit myself, there are a few sort of above the average sort of Airfix sort of things like wiring harness type
Yep.
diagrams.
Yeah.
I've just turned to page 41 of the instruction manual and just gone past halfway. And at step 159, it's showing if you wish to add the ignition leads to the engine, it is recommended you use 0.7 millimeter copper wire and follow the diagrams below. So it's got the wiring diagram, as you said, Ian. But not only that, it gives you the length that you need to cut the particular wire to.
And they're all colour coded too, so you can't muck them up.
No, so all your A wires are 12 millimetres long, and then the B wire, which you're going to do 8 of, they're 34 millimetre long. Then it shows you the C wire, which is 23 millimetres long. You do 9 of them. D is 47 millimetres, the E is 26, and the F is 14 millimetres. And this engine is just absolutely...
Oh, it's got everything.
I mean, I'm just saying that just purely by looking at the instructions, so I can't wait to sort of dive in and start pulling bits of the kit out of the box to have a look at that. So, but the engine itself is just it's a kit in itself. It's absolutely gorgeous. Is a lot of this going to be lost when you sort of close up the panels and everything, or are you still going to be able to see?
The panels are, you can have the panels on or off.
Oh, you can you?
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Wow.
you can expose everything.
Any
The
stress?
question is, where will you?
Yeah, well, it's a good
Oh,
point
something
too.
that big, yeah.
Really?
Definitely. One side will have everything open.
Is it the kind of thing where you can put them on and off, like the Tamiya kits?
I don't know. I'd have to check.
And next
Without actually building it, I'm not too sure. Now, it's not the quality of Tamiya, being Airfix. There are some issues. One of the main issues that everyone's come across is the second bulkhead behind the pilot, behind the cockpit, is a little bit on the large size. You've got to actually trim it down, otherwise you can't get the fuselage halves to close up properly. But with a bit of elbow grease and forward thinking, you can get past that quite easily. And it's that soft Chinese plastic they use, so
Indian
it's
plastic.
easy to, yeah. Well, apparently these ones are done in China.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah.
Now, the decals scare the heck out of me because
big.
they're huge.
Yeah.
I'd be almost
I'd be
inclined to paint them.
painting the
Yeah.
markings. Well, I'm not using any. I'm not going to. When I build it, I won't be doing any of the kit schemes.
No, really?
No.
You've got a special one in mind, do you?
I'm going to do a USS Yorktown, Late War Yorktown with the big.
You're all
big
about the
white
Yorktown,
triangle.
eh?
I love the Yorktown and its aircraft. The good old fighting lady.
Each scheme that they provide the decals with comes with its own call-out sheet for the decals,
Yes,
and it's a
but
coloured fold-out.
There's a big but.
Yeah.
When you look at the colour they've got for the main scheme, which they're saying I think is 15, for the main colour.
Gloss blue midnight.
Yeah, what colour they have on their sheet? What number they have on their sheet? Is it 15?
15 it is, yes.
Don't use that colour because it's too much of a bright blue.
What paint they recommending you use for this?
Humbrol, of course.
Humbrol, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who uses Humbrol? Not
Well,
too many
lots
people.
of people. Well,
Really?
you'd be surprised if a lot of people
No.
still use
Well,
Humbrol.
Whoever's still using Humbrol, they're going to need a lot of it for this one.
Oh yeah, you'd be using it.
You better go in there and buy like
You'd
a
be
six,
hope-
pack of...
or hoping you got a stash of the old style Humbrol tins that were about 3 times the size of the normal ones you can get.
Well, I'm looking at. I'd almost be inclined to go for the scheme that is the East Indies, the one that Fleet Air Arm used.
The camouflage.
The camouflage one with the grey and the green and the what's the undercolour coat? That'd
It's
be
a type of sky colour. It's like
matte beige green.
Yeah.
Is the undercoat? Is the underneath of it?
Mm-hmm.
But that just looks sensational. So you were telling me while we were having the break about a story where these actually operated in Europe.
Yeah, funnily enough, I've got a ton of books on Hellcats, and since getting that kit, I've been going through them again. And yeah, I read this article where they actually were used during the invasion of France, and they one aircraft, particular aircraft that was shared by 2 pilots, shot down a couple of Heinkel 111s and Ju-52s.
Wow.
This is,
So if you want to do something unusual, you can do a Hellcat with.
So this is in and around D-Day,
Yeah.
right? Mm-hmm. That's quite.
But actually, I'm not too
interesting.
sure if it was a 5 or a, more than likely at that time. There's a good chance it probably would have been an F6, F3.
Okay. What's the difference?
There's a few differences with engine panels. The 3s, most of the 3s had a little window behind the main glazing,
Oh yeah.
whereas the 5s, they omitted that. Now Dave's just ripping the main fuselage out of the bag.
The bag's already open, so I'm going to dive
course.
in. I'm keen to see if there's any sort of stress skin on it.
There is.
There is?
There is, yes. It's not all over, but some of the panels are stress skin, and it's got this weird grain to it too. Not too sure about the grain. I think I might have to give that a bit of a sand to get rid of that
light
grainy
sand.
finish. Yeah,
That
You
plastic,
yeah.
it disappears when you start sanding it. You almost got to drop down like to the if you've got like sort of sanding sticks that you would otherwise use for removing material.
Mm-hmm.
If you got to use them to remove material on an Airfix kit of this plastic, it just disappears.
yeah.
Like you dropped it, you accidentally tripped forward and pushed it into like a belt sander and
Yep.
just disappears.
Yeah.
So it'd be looking like a 1200 grit?
Yeah, 1200 wet and dry
Yeah.
with soapy water just to give that really nice.
But there's so much detail, you'd be worried about sort of scratching the detail. Well, 1200 you get away with it. I
Yeah.
think you'd be
And
pretty safe.
and if you look carefully, the panels actually do overlap on the fuselage,
Yeah, I'm just looking at that. And
so
also
they've done that well.
down near the back, so below the tail, you only have the flush rivets, but you got the
raised rivets
the
as
raised
well.
rivets down
Yes.
the back there, which
Yep.
is I guess a strengthening type thing. 'Cause that's where the hook was,
Yep.
the arrestor hook.
I suppose like if you when you do your sanding, you would want to sort of just use the actual sheet and not put it on a block or anything like that.
No.
And because you have to work your way around all the
Correct. All the details.
all the what you call it, the oil canning effect.
Correct. Yeah.
You can't just rub down the whole
No,
wing.
otherwise, you're going to have a nice, flat, smooth finish and lose all that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Dave's still going through the box. There's plenty of sprues.
the box now, and I'm lost. that many. Oh my. Jeez, the bomb's huge on it, isn't it? In this scale,
Yeah.
it comes with it. That's a 500 pounder.
There's 5 and 1,000.
Okay.
So it's 2 different size bombs.
There's the 5 and there's the 1,000.
Yep.
Interesting little trick I saw on Facebook. You know how on your bombs, when you're doing the modern day bombs, and you got the little yellow band on it.
Yep.
So what this guy did, instead of getting how we'd normally do it and getting a bit of, you'd paint the bomb yellow first and you'd put a bit of Tamiya tape around and then paint the rest green. He paints it yellow, and then he gets these little rubber
O-rings.
and just slips it on and then paints the green around it.
Yep.
How easy and simple is that?
Forward thinking.
And the O-rings only cost like about, $5 for a box of about, 400 or so in different sizes.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was genius.
The last one I did, I just used the decal that they give you.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't do that, no.
It worked. It worked fine.
Yeah, but with those bombs though, they got that sort of textured sort of thing to them, that rough sort of texture to it. So you'd replicate that by using what's it called, Tipex or whiteout. You'd paint that on, and then you'd paint the colours on the bomb. You get that sort of rough finish. Yeah.
Well, the other way to do it is to do like what the armor builders will do to simulate cast and rolled steel texture, where they'll get the Mr. Surfacer and they'll just dab it on.
Yeah, that's
with
the
a
way
brush.
of doing it. Yeah, yep.
Also, you can add more roughness to the appearance of it by using sponge techniques with the different sort of shades of olive drab and stuff.
Yes.
That can be really good.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
because those bombs, they're pretty rough.
Yeah.
I'm just still blown away by the size of this kit, and what I'm looking at is just Ian, you just got yourself a. When are you going to build it? Get us
I've got so many other kits I want to get out of the way. I've got no idea where I'm going to put it anyway. I don't even know where I'm going to put the box.
Well, the box is extreme.
That's right.
You'd probably have to, like, if you had it built, it'd be a bit of a fit for the boot in your car, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's a big boy.
It's a big airplane. It's a huge aircraft.
Now, already seeing aftermarket stuff come out, and
yes.
I have got a. Where is it?
Well, I was actually hoping one of them would come in by now, but I haven't got it as yet, and that's the Airscale cockpit interior detail set.
Now, the Airscale cockpit interior is a metal. Looks like it's
photo etch.
And I think it's already. Do you have to actually put it into that shape, or it comes in that shape already?
No, you got to put it in that.
Okay, so it comes flat.
Yep.
And if you go to the Airscale website, which is www.airscale.co.uk, for £19, you can purchase this gorgeous-looking cockpit.
Now, the only thing with the Airscale cockpit, which is absolutely gorgeous in its own right,
I just realised my microphone wasn't on.
is just
Really?
you're clever.
No, I just turned it off a second ago to have a cough, and I forgot to turn it back on again. So anyway,
So
we'll
with
see.
the Airscale set, if you use the Airscale sets, unless you modify it slightly, you can't have your rockets
Right, okay.
because it doesn't have the rocket selector switch, selector box at the bottom.
It's
It's only got where it's got the heater.
Yes.
Yep, that was removed, and another section was put in there in place for the rockets.
So the Airscale aftermarket stuff, it comes with the etch to make it a metal cockpit, I guess you'd want to say, if you want a bit of words. It also comes with the decals that you can put underneath
Yep, all your placards.
Oh, yeah, geez, that's gorgeous. And that's that £19 for that. That's not too much of a bad price, is it, really?
He does good work.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just looking at this. So, Edward have also got some stuff out.
Yeah, they've got a lot of
for
stuff
it.
coming out.
They've got the
Canopy masts?
Yep.
Yes. They've also got the engine, some PE for the engine.
Interior, engine.
Yep.
I think they may also have an exterior set as well coming out.
Yep.
Oh, for like, flaps or something?
Yeah,
Or,
I think so.
or maybe not.
The steel seat, what they call the steel range of seat belts.
Right.
HGW, I think it is the company, HGW.
Yep,
They're bringing out seat belts for it.
Good.
As well.
That's what you want to see.
So, yeah, pretty much. The only thing I really would like someone to do is get some good 124 scale Brownings, because I feel the Brownings in this kit are a little bit soft.
Right,
the
okay.
machine guns.
Yep.
And the main wheels.
Yep.
Because the main wheels are like two halves slapped together and then with a hub put in.
Right.
And I'm not too keen on that idea.
Yep.
I prefer like a full resin wheel that just goes straight in there, where you got the perfect. You're not going to have run the risk of having a seam line or losing some detail as you're trying to clean it up.
So, any other pitfalls or anything we've seen online for guys who have been building it so far? I know that if we go to large scale planes and have a look at that website, there's a discussion on their forums about converting it to the
F6, F3.
Yeah, and I believe it's a window.
Yeah, you got to the F6.
Back.
Yeah, it's got a window at the back, in behind the main canopy. So far, the only pitfall I've come across is the second bulkhead. You've got to trim it to get it to fit properly. Otherwise, you won't get fuselage halves together.
Well, it's early days, and there'll be more aftermarket that'll get
Oh yeah,
released for it.
and there'll be more stuff people will be finding that aren't truly up to scratch. But honestly, I can't complain about my purchase. I'm very happy with it, and look, with a bit of work and a few extra detail sets, I think it's going to turn out to be an absolutely marvellous, intimidating machine.
I reckon you can probably expect some Aries resin cockpits come out.
I think that'd be
and engines and things like that.
Yeah,
they'll do it. I mean, like you would think that the kit's detailed enough for it, and they'll do it. They did them for Tamiya's 30-second scale stuff. And if they'll do it for that, they'll do it for anything.
Well, same as Vector. Vector do the best engines.
Yeah, Vector.
Yeah, Vector. Sergi from Vector. Yeah, he does great engines.
But that engine on its own looks all right.
Yeah, it looks really nice. The only thing I think is going to be a bit of a challenge is when you because as you know, the Hellcat's got the twin bank serial radials.
Yeah.
Well, the radials come in two halves.
Yeah.
Which is going to be a real challenge trying to get rid of that seam line in between all your cylinder fins.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where a resin one would come into its own.
Yep.
You don't have to worry about that sort of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I can see this kit becoming really expensive.
Yeah.
Well, no more expensive than a ship model, surely.
I don't know
anymore. Speaking of prices, I was really intrigued to see how much this kit was going for in different parts of the world.
Well, I paid $250 Australian.
Okay, so $249.99 is what it's retailing for in Australia. Sprue Brothers over in the US, it's $127.99. The recommended resale price is $160 in the US, so you can pick it up for $127. In the UK, the recommended price is £120, let's call it. I've seen it going for £107, but Hannant's selling it for £99.
Oh, that's right.
So that's a heck of a drop, £99. So that works out nearly about $180 Aussie.
No, it'd be more than that.
I don't know what the pound is to the Aussie dollar.
It's triple, isn't it?
No. Even if it's double at the worst.
Right.
Which is probably your Australian dollar's always weak.
Yep.
So even if you double, that's still not a bad price.
Yeah.
In fact, that's an excellent price. Just got to pay for the shipping.
And that's where, the size of it, that's where a lot of your money's going to go to too, shipping.
Yeah, and you know what? I'd be scared to have something like this shipped across because you'd be worrying about it getting damaged. Because there's no give in the box, because let me tell you, the box is chock-a-block to the top.
The thing I like too is with the clear parts, they're actually wrapped in like a tissue paper and then wrapped again in bubble wrap before being put in the bag. So the clear bits are really well protected, and they're quite nice clear bits too.
Now the clear bits are also the cockpit engine. No, not cockpit engine.
The instrument.
The instrument panel. Sorry,
yes, correct.
That comes in clear plastic.
Yep. Which two types.
Yeah.
One with the gauges already in it, and another one where it's just blank faces, but you get the gauges come in the decal sheet.
Okay. But you still recommend that people go and look at an aftermarket one?
There'll be multiple options.
It's up to them. Look, honestly, if you build this thing out of the box, it's going to look great.
Yeah.
There's quite a range of sort of aftermarket instrument panels you can get. I mean, you'll be able to get, no doubt, Eduard Photo Etch.
Yep.
You'll be able to get, I think Eduard have got their new Zoom series or whatever it is, where it's very similar to the Yahoo.
Yes, and I do know that the Eduard interior set comes with a replacement seat.
Right.
So a photo etch seat.
Right. That sounds good.
So that could be all right.
I've seen those sort of done up, and they tend to look a bit nicer in a lot of areas. Because that's one of the sort of sticking points. If you don't make it out of resin or fabricate it out of photo etch or something, it's hard to get sort of like the corners and things looking right. Just because of the limitations on plastic.
Yes. Totally agree.
So Airfix definitely gone to a bit of trouble to sort of get this as right as you could expect a manufacturer at their level to get right.
Well, I recently watched a documentary that one of our listeners recommended, and it was the James May documentary on the trouble of
I still haven't
model
seen
Britain.
it. Yeah, I still haven't seen it.
And basically, the reason Airfix has done this kit is this is to get them back in the game.
Oh, really?
This is their kit to get them back in the game. And hey, for a first one to get back in the game, I reckon they've done all right.
You know, it was disappointing to see all the naysayers when the kit got released and people were going, oh, you know, why would you spend that sort of money? And you know, and Airfix had got it wrong and they got it overpriced, and, you know, it was just... I don't know.
But you get that with all kits.
Yeah.
There's always someone out there who's going to find massive faults with any kit.
Yeah.
I
haven't got a problem with people finding fault in a kit and saying, hey, look, I've come across this particular issue in a kit.
But here's the solution.
Well, not only that, yes, you're right, Ian, here's the solution. But just to go and slam a kit manufacturer online and you're paying disservice to those people who have gone and spent their money on purchasing it. Yes, I agree on the other side of the table that you know, the kit manufacturers need to be held to account to try and build a kit as close as possible to the way it should be. I mean,
every manufacturer makes mistakes. Tamiya has made some great mistakes on some of their
that's
kits.
right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it all comes down to their reference, what reference they've had. I remember the main one was when Tamiya bought out their Focke-Wulf D9. Had the wrong wings.
Yeah. Well,
The undercarriage, the wheels were too small. The spinner was wrong. And the reason the wings were wrong is they went overseas to America to measure one up.
Yep.
But what they didn't realise, the one in the museum in America had a different set of wings put on it when they restored it.
Wow.
It had the wrong wings on it. And Tamiya followed that.
Yep.
So the Beaufighter's got some rectangular and square panels on the wings. They didn't come with the Beaufighter. They were patches.
Actually, I think there's been a bit of a revision about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there are people who have actually looked at the panels on the wings, and those are actual little, like, opening panels.
Oh, right.
So I don't know if necessarily all of those are wrong. I'm not sure who came up with that idea. But in any case, they have gotten plenty of other things wrong.
And most aircraft too, like, no aircraft is the same as an X1 built. Not back then. Like the biggest worry would be trying to build a complete accurate Messerschmitt 109.
Yep.
Like, those things were all over the shop.
Yeah.
Well, they're all built by hand. I mean,
Yeah.
goodness sake, we're still building modern jetliners by hand now.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like a car manufacturing line where you got robots punching them all together.
Well, it's just getting very specific here. Specifically, German stuff is like that. I believe the thing is, like, with say for example, German tanks. Like, you build 5 tanks, and the 5th one is that much different from the first one.
Yep.
Because they were very much hand built, you know, in a similar sense to, like, say, old Italian sports cars, where you can't even take the boot lid off one and put it on another, and it matches up.
Okay. Yep.
It's almost like garage level manufacturing.
Yep.
And aircraft in today are still built like that. Well, mind you, and the tolerances are a lot tighter and everything, but they're still assembled by hand.
Yep.
They really are. So
the only way to be sure.
So circling back to what I was saying,
Yeah, I know, we got off track a bit.
It's just
But,
disappointing.
With the price, I think it's priced appropriately.
Yep.
Because if you look at
How much?
like, you paid $250 for it roughly, right? You're getting a much larger kit, or a significantly larger kit.
There's a lot of plastic in that kit.
Yep.
Yeah. But I don't think the actual cost of plastic factors into it very much at
There'd
all.
probably be $2 worth of plastic in that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
What you pay for is the instruction book, the decals, and the box cover.
Yeah.
That's the most expensive part of the kit.
But you're also paying for the developmental
The
costs.
research and the development, the
Right.
tooling.
Yeah, the tooling.
Because the tooling's never cheap.
Tooling is expensive, man. It is really expensive.
But as you were saying before, like with naysayers and that, like I think one of the terminology that I hate the most in the modelling community is when people use that word, the 2 words, fatal flaw.
Yep.
That just puts everyone off a kit.
Yep.
That, to me, is just someone saying, this kit is totally unbuildable.
Yep.
Bull.
Yep.
I don't believe in the fatal flaw.
There are some kits that are absolute heaps to build, and you will throw it against the wall before you finish it. I've had a few myself because they are just badly manufactured. But if you're keen enough and you apply yourself enough, yes, you can do it. And I have done that. I have built some kits that a lot of people would say, I wouldn't touch that with a barge pole.
Actually,
but I get stubborn and I build it.
Actually, I have come across like one fatal flaw, but it was in a short run kit. And yeah, it was like it was ridiculous. Yeah.
What was that?
It was like some old. It was that thing that I asked you to get me one time from Eastern Europe or whatever. That Yak 9 or whatever it was.
Oh, from that obscure European company.
I mean, like, talk about this. This is the only ever like fatal flaw I've come across, and it was basically like the wings. The upper wing would not glue to the lower wing because the wheel well that they'd made for it was too thick.
Yep.
And like completely, like you had like the wing's thickness of gap between the two halves.
Yep. I had a similar thing with some garage kit that I had to build for a club competition, which was the Build-A-Bitch competition.
Yep.
And it was a Messerschmitt 262, but with the big anti-tank gun in the nose. And this was like a mixture of Airfix, Hella, and photo etch. So the wing sprues were Hella, fuselage was Airfix, I think, and then it had photo etch. Now the wheel wells were all photo etch, so you had to make the box out of photo etch. There was no way that was ever going to fit in between the wing halves. I had to sand. Like, it was one of the kits I did finish. I had to sand the wings that smooth that you could see through them. If I'd gone any further, there would have been no plastic left.
Just like tissue paper.
Yep, just to get these things to fit. But I persevered and I built it.
Yep.
You're getting into sort of like, this kit is like a bit of a step ladder to get you away from a full scratch build. Yeah,
basically, yeah.
But I mean, like, getting back to the price, I think it's appropriately priced. If you look at the, like, say, I suppose I'm using it quite a benchmark as, to me, it's 30-second scale stuff. It's one scale down. Very high quality, $200. This is not that same level of quality, but you're getting almost as much detail, if not the same amount of rough detail. Larger kit. Nice decals. Certainly better than Tamiya's decals. So it all sort of balances out.
Yeah, balances out. Yep. But no, look, honestly, if you got the money and you like the Hellcat, I do recommend this kit.
Yep.
From what I've seen, what I've heard.
Well, what other 1/24th scale Hellcats have you got to choose from?
That's right.
Well, there you go. So
the other one thing that it's made me think of.
What's that?
It's. I know it's really out there, but I've got a 48 scale Hellcat, which I'm going to do in the same markings, the Edward one. Get a 32 scale one, same markings. 72, same markings. 1 to 144 scale, same markings.
Yeah.
And grab one of me ones from me that I got from me Yorktown.
Well, no,
1
actually,
to 350.
There's a 1/144th scale one you can get as well.
That's what I said.
Oh, did you? Yeah, sorry, yeah. And why not get a 1/700 scale one?
Go even smaller.
Yeah.
350 and then 350 and then 700.
Yeah. So anyone got a spare 1/700 scale Hellcat, slam it to me.
You can probably pick up a 1/200 scale one too.
Yeah, you may be.
Yeah, because they build them for the.
Because I'm going to look quite good going from the tiniest scale all the way up to this huge beast.
Oh, going to be hilarious.
Yeah. Well, 30-second scale, that'd be like a Hasegawa kit, right?
Yeah, which is. For it's its age, it was a great kit. But
that would be more of a challenge than this one.
Oh yeah, definitely. And apparently they haven't got the Hellcat grin right on it either, which is like the air scoops at the front and the bottom.
Yeah.
Apparently that's one of the most difficult things for manufacturers to get right.
The smile.
The smile, yeah, the Hellcat grin.
Well, I reckon it looks like a great kit, and I'd be certainly very happy to. Have one of them on a bench and start building it. So, are we going to raffle this off, Ian, or not?
Nope. That's a big nope.
Oh, sorry, I got the listeners excited there for a second.
Yes. You're a cruel man, Dave.
Oh, well. Oh. So, you mentioned there's some YouTube stuff already out where guys have started building it?
Yeah, I should have written down his name. I was watching about 4 episodes of his today, an English gentleman who basically bought one the day it got released in England and has been doing a step-by-step build on it.
Just Google it though, and you'll
Yeah,
find it in YouTube.
Airfix 124 scale Hellcat, and you'll
Yep.
see this gentleman build it. And
Yep.
I've actually really enjoyed it. He does what he waffles on, but
Look, so do we.
so do we. But he's there and he goes through everything.
Yeah.
And he, like as I said before, with the that second panel, the fire, the structural bit behind the cockpit.
Yeah.
He came across that while he was building it. He's gone, a few people have said they can't get the fuselage halves together, and he found out why, and then showed how we fixed it so the fuselage halves can clip together nicely.
One of the interesting things I found when I was looking through the large-scale planes forum is there's actually a picture of the wings folded, but the ammunition section's open, so you can actually pose it with the wings up and still show the access panels open on the wings, which I reckon is awesome. Because more often than not, that sort of stuff was all closed up before the wing got folded up. So
exactly.
Yeah. No, I reckon it's a really cool looking kit, and I reckon it's going to, knowing you, it's going to come out as.
And there's a lot of details.
Brilliant kit.
Yeah, there's a lot of details in that kit you're going to put in there, and then you won't see.
Yeah, well,
but it's there.
But you know what? The larger the kits are, the more you're going to see the detail. I reckon. I really do.
Well, it's got all this plumbing that's in underneath the pilot seat.
Oh, well, yeah,
which is going to be really hard to see, and it's all separate. You've got to put it in there.
What about all the sort of cabling and stuff like that for the?
You can put that in. You can
stuff.
put that in. I've got a great photo of at home in one of my books. It just shows all the cabling running from the forward bulkhead, basically all the way down the fuselage, and that all goes past the radio boxes and the battery, and it's got a little fuse box on the side of the fuselage.
Because I compared this to like their other aircraft in this scale, the Typhoon. I believe the Typhoon has a lot more exposed cabling and stuff, doesn't it?
Yep.
And it's kind of like an area of interest.
Yes.
Whereas most people don't.
And this
really
is
think
so
about
much
that.
bigger than the Typhoon, especially not really in length and width, but in bulk.
In bulk.
Because Julie and I went and saw one of our guests we've had on, Chris, over the weekend, and he pulled out his 24 scale Typhoon, and I was just looking at the fuselage halves together, and Typhoon is just the Hellcat's just so much fatter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like when you consider that the cockpit rests on top of like the wing.
Yeah.
Right. Inside. It doesn't go all the way down to the bottom. It's like there's this great big cavernous hole underneath the cockpit.
Sits on top of the wing.
It's a beautiful aircraft.
Yep.
And it was a war-winning aircraft as well. It would have been interesting to see it, go up against, say, the Luftwaffe. And even though there was that, one instance in D-Day when one did, but because they had a bit of range to them too, didn't they? The aircraft.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
naval planes.
Yeah, definitely had to.
So
But they were rugged, tough aircraft. And I think they had a 10-to-1 kill ratio too.
I would have thought it would have been higher than that, 10 to 1.
Yeah, it could be a bit higher.
Maybe it is. Don't know.
But you got to also realise by the time these things came out, a lot of the Japanese top pilots were at the bottom of the ocean by that stage.
And the Mariana's turkey shoot kind of skewered things a bit too.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, the sort of escalation.
Mind you, though, we were used to doing the Mariana's turkey shoot.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm saying. They were skewered things a bit. The kill ratio.
I was going to say, also like the escalation of technology in terms of like engine power and all that sort of stuff just
definitely.
kept on going up, whereas it started to plateau off for the
for the Japanese, yes, definitely.
Yeah, the Japanese were mainly sort of still.
They had to try and compete in other ways.
Yeah, but they were almost a cottage industry still, rather than the sort of large manufacturing like the US was.
Yeah, plus they had too much infighting.
Well,
Japanese were big on infighting.
yeah.
I don't know what it was like on the home front between the manufacturers.
Oh, a lot of infighting.
Yeah, was there really?
Especially when you look at like the Navy and the Army. They refused to cooperate. Like
I well remember. I'm well read on that side of it. Yeah,
that doesn't help.
No.
Well, there was competition in the Allied forces between the Navy and the
Army. Yeah,
but they at least cooperated.
yeah.
Well, competition is a big difference to outright loathing
And hatred, and let's do everything to stuff them up, which you think how many lives the Japanese lost due to that situation.
Yeah.
Well, we need help. No, we're not going to help you, your Army. We're Navy.
It wasn't. It was that sort of disagreement between the Army and the Navy, the Imperial Japanese Navy and the Army, that not saying it was the reason, but it was one of the reasons why Japan didn't go in against and fight Russia. Apart from the fact that they got their noses bled really well in 1939 in the brief encounter against Russia. But the Navy turned around and said, well, we've got nothing to do if you do that. We've got no reason for existence.
Yeah.
And that's why the Navy pushed to go south.
Yep.
Yeah. Amongst other reasons.
Yes. Yes. Rubber, oil.
Yeah, oil was a big one. Yeah, absolutely. All right, gents, I think that about gets us towards the end of the show. Ian, it was awesome that you brought that in.
Hey, no worries.
You going to keep us posted if you start building it?
Yeah, but don't expect me to start building it straight away. I've still got the Moosaroo Cup.
Oh, you'd be better served leaving it a couple of years.
I'm going to leave it for a while.
Couple of years?
Yeah.
You mad?
I'm going to leave it for at least, I'd say at least smart move for me would be leave it for at least 12 months till I can get it as much detail sets and...
Yeah. You got to wait for the aftermarket community to catch up.
Well, they won't be far behind if the wire's already out there.
Well,
and,
there's no wheels for it yet, is there?
No.
So-
But I'm hoping so. And I do know someone will eventually bring out wheels.
That's the key part.
Yep. I really would like some new wheels for this kit. With different tread patterns.
Yes.
Because there's about
That's what they get.
3 different tread patterns for the late war Hellcats.
So there's the diamond ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
What else?
You've got your... I think some of them had like a H-style pattern.
Oh, yeah, yep. I know the one you're talking about.
And there's
Yep.
also the square pattern. Or a squarish rectangular pattern.
Yep.
Cool. So they're the 3.
Yeah, important
And
if you want to, pick up a specific ship
Exactly.
you want to do it on.
Yep.
Time period. Especially if you've got nice photos of the.
Yeah, I've got a
example you
few.
want to
I've got a few nice photos of Yorktown, late war Yorktown Hellcats, and there's one that really has intrigued me, but I don't know if I'll do it. And that's White 15.
Oh,
It's
okay.
all over glossy sea blue except for its rudder. It's got an F6 F3 rudder with the lighter blue,
Oh, yeah.
but then with the big white triangle going across it.
Oh, that'd be nice. So here's a question. Why did they have the gloss blue? Does anybody know?
No idea.
No idea.
Presume, well, glossy makes you can fly faster with a glossy aircraft.
Oh, geez, I only would have added about 2 or 3 miles per hour.
Yeah, but still 2 or 3 miles per hour could be the difference between life and death.
Yeah.
I do know a lot of the aircraft also, from the front cockpit or front windshield forwards, they put a flat coat over the glossy blue, so you wouldn't get the reflection in your eyes when you were flying.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There are lots of cases where they've gone to great lengths to make sure that the surface was smooth. Yeah. Like, polishing
Yeah, it was
down.
Floor polish and
Yeah.
so forth. They used to
Yeah,
put on
but
the
I'm
wings.
telling you guys, that's only going to add maximum. If you're talking about a
Maybe
300 mile an hour aircraft, you're only probably going to get about an extra 3 mile an hour out of it.
It all helps.
Something like that. Yeah, I know it helps, but but geez,
Well, when your life's on the line, you kind of want people to do that for you.
Yeah.
if you're in a situation where 3 miles is going to be a difference between you living or dying, perhaps you should have stepped in the cockpit to begin with, is what I'm thinking.
Well, one of those guys weren't given the option too.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. All right, gents, let's end that there. Ian, sign off.
Sayonara. Nah, happy modelling, and remember, photo etch is your friend.
Thank you. Julian.
I've got a lot of modelling to do. I guess I should recommend other people try doing some modelling this weekend too.
We're up to episode 56, and he still hasn't got quite the hang of a sign.
I don't want to rise to that occasion. Nah, I'd much rather throw something that's a bit awkward and janky. so something that looks very very lame and half-assed.
Why not?
Thanks, Julian. All right, everybody. I'll catch you all in a fortnight's time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Right.
Well, we hope you enjoyed that episode. And don't forget, if you're still looking for some more modelling podcast goodness, don't forget to go and check out our friends at Scale Model Podcasts over in Canada. Our good friends over there, Stuart and Anthony Goodman. Thanks for listening. We'll be back in a fortnight.